So my name is still Sam Goldberg, co-founder and president of Lucidity. And so I'm glad we covered earlier that we're all comfortable with linear algebra. One of the things I'm going to be doing as we're going through is calling on some people, kind of Socratic method. So, if you're looking at your phone now, you should keep up because it might get a little embarrassing for you. Okay, I thought it would be great to get really deep technical. And I want to go on record in saying that I can't write a line of code to save my life. True story, but this is why we rely so heavily on Miguel and his team, who presented earlier. And so we'll start with, this is a real simple one, so we'll go here. So commit this, just see this slide, commit it to memory because we're going to keep referencing it as we move forward, and I'll be asking a lot of questions about it. So I'll give you guys just a moment to dig in on that. And it's super basic stuff, right? All right, I'm just playing. We're not going to dig that deep into the technical. Okay, why? Why are we not going to be talking about linear algebra? Why are we not going to dig deep into the code? The reason for that is that I still believe it's critically important to highlight the value prop. Yes, we can talk about technology all day long, but at the end of the day, what is the output? What is the output that a media buyer is receiving? What is the output that a publisher is receiving? How are they getting benefits from this? What is the value add, ultimately? And I think a huge thing of what we can bring to the table is evaluating every single event. Every impression, every click. Some people refer to this as a deterministic solution, as opposed to a probabilistic solution where you take a sample of data, build a model using algorithms. We typically refer to that as guessing. And certainly some forms of guessing are better than others, but ultimately, when you're tracking every event and evaluating every event, you can have certainty and build models based on certainty. For examples, automation. Automation requires valid data. We talk about the garbage in, garbage out issue. We've already heard of that. So in order to have automations that can be effective for our industry, in order to build models that utilize automation, we need a foundation of valid data. And unfortunately, and for a variety of historical reasons, we don't really have that as an industry. And while this is a simplified view of the programmatic supply chain, what we know is that everybody has different counts of numbers. The data sets aren't designed to talk to each other. They don't talk to each other. Nobody trusts anybody else. And it is evolved into this horrible situation where media buyers have a really tough time understanding what they're actually getting. And they should be getting what they paid for. I think we should all probably be able to easily agree on that. And when you have different counts, when you have different data sets, it's also difficult to know what to rely on. This ends up causing huge reconciliation problems. Has anybody ever dealt with the reconciliation problem? Okay, cool. So probably more people than are good at linear algebra, which is really hard. Reconciliation problems are also hard, mostly because when you talk to your partners about who should get paid what, and it's very difficult to prove or disprove anything, it can become pretty confrontational, and who wants that with partners? So what we know today is that the supply chain has tons of data discrepancies. This leads to inefficiencies. It leads to reconciliation problems, actualization problems. This opens a giant door for fraudsters to come in and take advantage of all of us. You guys are likely aware that there's at least $50 million a day that we're aware of, that we know of, that we can quantify, that's being stolen from us collectively. And I mean, that's just an awful stat. So what we see now here is a more fulsome look of the programmatic supply chain. Of course, a media buyer can be an advertiser or their agency. Often it's the agency. But ultimately, what we want is a clean set of data using a shared ledger. And the reason a shared ledger makes a lot of sense is that it's auditable. And any participant for a single piece of data, so a single impression, can look and see on the shared ledger and immediately reconcile what's happened. And that's cool, because if you've dealt with the reconciliation problems, you never want to deal with those again. And it also inherently, and some people have heard like, oh, blockchain, like these are trustless systems. In my mind, that always made me think like you can't trust them. But ultimately, the idea behind that is that we want to be able to trust the technology, but not trust a single party or even multiple parties. We want to be able to audit things and check them out on our own. And that's something that we should be able to do, and fortunately, shared ledger technology brings that to the table. So we're excited to share that one of the things that we've collectively been working on, ads.txt, this is something that Lucidity has integrated and as part of the portfolio of exciting elements and statistics and evaluating each and every impression and click, et cetera, that we're bringing to our partners. It is it's a great signal to help avoid fraud, to help identify if it is indeed an authentic publisher or not. I'm not claiming that in every scenario it's going to be an end-all, but I think it is a huge step forward and something that certainly as an industry we should be taking advantage of all the hard work that's gone into generating it. And here's an example, just so you see, like it's just part of our dashboard that as you're working, as the campaign's live, as you're getting data in real time, that you can evaluate what's actually happening with your media buy, what's the efficacy, what's the quality, and then is it also, are you also getting that check box checked with respect to ads.txt? So we've got a whole boatload of things in the pipeline. Shared earlier about our transparency report that we publish. It's available on our website. But we've gotten an incredible amount of feedback from our partners, both on the brand side and on the agency side, as well as publishers, as far as what has value. And again, circling all the way back to the value prop. Like, yes, we can go as deep as we want into the technology, and we should be able to. Of course, if someone wants to know, and we should be able to have our technology evaluated and auditable and all of that, but ultimately, I think collectively, we need to really focus on the value prop. What are we bringing to the table? Why is this something that someone should utilize? And how is this helping media buyers be more effective with their spend? All right. Last, I think we all should remain conscientious that convenience, ease of use is pretty important. I think it was brought up earlier when we were talking about pizza, that we might just reset, flip a switch, and all of a sudden we have this whole new environment where we're using tokens, we're using crypto, everything else. I don't think that's viable. I think what's viable is an evolutionary process where we work within existing user workflows and deliver the value of the technologies that we can bring to bear within the existing user workflows. And as it evolves, I think this will generate more and more power as it demonstrates that value. Okay, so again, the big thank you. So happy to address any questions, but I do want to reiterate that while we should go deep in the technology when somebody asks, I think it's hypercritical that we focus on